Hi everyone, happy Monday. Happy Monday. Happy Monday to everyone. This is a special edition of Tea Time with Dr. Iyabo on on a Monday morning with the amazing Dr. Jess, who is a sex and relationship expert. So everybody welcome. Hi Leslie Jojo. Hi everybody. Hi. I'm glad you're all here on a Monday morning. And if you have to log off at any point, if you can't stay with us the entire time, please make sure that you're all subscribed to my YouTube channel, okay? Make sure you're all subscribed to my YouTube channel because the replay is going to be on my YouTube channel, okay? This is a very important live. Okay, it's a very important live. What we're going to discuss is going to change your lives. Dr. Jess is a sex and relationship expert. She's also an author, a podcaster. She's a PhD holder. She's a beautiful woman. She'll be joining me soon. And yes, we're talking about sex in dating and in marriage, right? That three-letter word that should be enjoyed, but sometimes brings us a lot of heartache. So, Dr. Jess, if you're on, I'm not sure that I see you, but if you're on, please request to come on because I know that you can only stay on 30 minutes and we want to get every ounce of wisdom from you. So I hope you guys can see me okay. By the way, we just had a tornado watch. I don't know if there's any Atlantans here on live with me. We just had a tornado, actually tornado warning, not just tornado watch. We just had a tornado warning in Atlanta. So that's why I logged on a little bit late because I was in a room with no windows and, making sure I was safe before coming on. So yeah, today we're discussing sex in dating and marriage. I have not seen, hi Style Geek, how are you? I have not seen Dr. Jess. I don't think she's on yet, but we'll wait for her and see. I don't know how to message someone from my live, but I believe she will log on shortly. So yeah, so welcome everyone. In the meantime, if you have any questions for me, please go ahead and ask me any questions. Oh yeah, there's Dr. Jess. Okay, so Dr. Jess, we're all ready for you, so you can request. Okay guys, here comes Dr. Jess. Here comes Dr. Jess. Here comes Dr. Jess. Hi, the marriage fixer. Hi. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Tea Time with Dr. Iyabo. Wow, Dr. Jess is looking fabulous. You are looking, oh my goodness, I still have a, look, I have a yellow tongue from my turmeric drink. Sorry, guys. Dr. Iyabo has a yellow tongue this morning. That shows you that I'm drinking what I should be drinking. I had my turmeric drink, but you look beautiful.
How are
Dr.
you?
Jess.
Thanks so much for having me. You can't hear me.
We can't hear you. Oh, there. Oh.
Oh, no.
You're going in and out.
How?
That's
Can
the
you hear me
beauty
now?
of technology.
Okay, let's just, I won't move.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Stay right there.
Yes, I'm on set right now, right? And very excited. We have a new project coming out that I can't announce yet.
Very nice. Congratulations in advance. You're a gorgeous woman. Before you logged on, I told the women, I'm like, she is gorgeous on top of everything that she has. So let's dive in because I know you're busy and you only have 30 minutes for us, okay? So I've told women what you do. Do you also want to tell them,
yeah,
or we should just say they should follow you?
Sort of self-explanatory. And I have a podcast with lots of info, lots of free stuff, Sex with Dr. Jess on all podcast platforms. And because I think some of my followers are tuning in too, would you also introduce yourself so they can hear all about you and make sure they follow along and support?
Of course, of course. So make sure you follow me on Dr. Iyabo. I'm a business and lifestyle coach. I love to help women make more money and to attract their honey. So that's why I'm the money to honey coach. So if you want more dollars and you want a good man beside you, I'm the coach for you. I'm also a pediatrician. I don't practice that much anymore. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm an author. I'm a YouTuber. I'm a mom of four, a wife, all of
Awesome.
those
Money
good
to
things.
honey. I
But
like all of
yeah,
those things.
yeah. Yes, yes, money to honey coach. And as you can imagine, I get a lot of messages from women because I was divorced for 10 years and I got remarried last year. Men are just attracted to my platform because they're like, if she can find love at 50, why can't we, right? So, but I get a lot of women that are doing the wrong things and I really just want to help them. So when I discovered you, I'm like, okay, we need to talk about sex once and for all on my Tea Time show. So first question I have for you is, should women have sex before they're exclusive? So if they're single and they're dating, should they have sex before their
Oh, so
boyfriend
I
and
really
girlfriend?
think this is an individual choice. So I think if it feels good for you and it aligns with your values and you're doing it because it's a fit for you, then absolutely you can have sex if you're not exclusive. You can have a one night stand, you can have multiple partners if you're being honest with yourself and honest with your partners. On the other hand, if you're doing something in order to achieve something else, let's say, for example, you want a serious relationship and you think that sex is going to take you there, I think that's an important kind of reflection to have on your own. So are you telling this person, oh, I just want something casual, and you're hoping it will balloon into something else? That's when I think we run into trouble. But if something feels right for you, it aligns with your personal, your spiritual, your sexual, your relational, your practical values, I say go for it. But please just be honest with yourself and honest with any partners you come across.
That's a fantastic answer. Because if you're just having sex for the fun of having sex and that's what you're sorry, texts and calls keep coming in. I need to learn how to block everything when I'm on my live. I don't know how to. So yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, if your intention is just that, then do it. But especially with women, a lot of women don't do it just for sex. They do it because they think that will win the man over. So now let's go into that. If they're doing it to win the man over and he hasn't yet told them that they're exclusive, what
Honestly, I
could
wish
that
people would
potentially
talk from
do?
the very minute they meet about what the relationship means. I don't think it's too early at any point in time to say, what are you into? Do you want something casual? Do you want something serious? Are we exclusive? Because some people will say, like, well, I don't want to put the pressure on. Listen, if it's on your mind, you have a right to bring it up. And they say, oh, well, what if I scare them off? If you scare them off, then it wasn't a fit to begin with. So I really think it's okay from the absolute get-go to say, this is what I'm looking for. Are we aligned? Rather than, honestly, we're being dishonest with ourselves and dishonest with potential partners. And then we get mad at them for not coming through with a storyline we've created in our minds. And they're not mind readers. Listen, I mean, one of the biggest challenges is we fall into gendered stereotypes, right? This expectation that women want one thing, men want another, especially in the heterosexual context. But that's not always the case. There are women who want casual sex. There are plenty of men who want long-term emotional commitment. Women are not more emotional than men. We are more likely to express our emotions because we have fewer limitations on, expectations around emotional expression. In fact, we have an expectation that we will express how we feel. But men want, people of all genders want the same things. We want emotional connection. So if, you're having sex and you haven't talked about exclusivity, go ahead and ask the question. It's never too early to ask.
Thank you very much. Because most of the messages I get, Dr. Jess, are women who've had sex multiple times with a man, and then they start to feel disappointed that even though they've done that, the man is still not committing to them. So, that's the majority of messages I get concerning sex, are the ones who, well, I guess that's not sex related. There's a lot of the ones who chat virtually with a man for months and months and months and think they're in a relationship, but they're not. But that's another topic for another day. But the first group of women, what would you say to a woman who contacts you and says, I really like this guy. We've been out on about 10 dates. We've had sex multiple times, but I don't feel that connection, and I don't feel like he's really devoted to me. It's not going anywhere. He hasn't said he wants to be exclusive.
Number one, have you said what you
tell
want?
That woman?
Because sometimes we sit back and we wait to hear what they want, as though we're willing to go along with anything. So go ahead and speak up about what you want. Number two, if they don't give you the answer you want, there are other people out there, right? I think sometimes when we have sex with someone, we think, oh, we've gone this far, we've committed this much, therefore it must be worth something. And unfortunately, having sex or not having sex is not the determinant of whether or not you will stay together. Having sex or not having sex is not a determinant of whether or not you will stay committed or be kind to one another or invest in the relationship. So, we can't talk about sex without talking about relationships. And I think, unfortunately, we just fall into relationships instead of planning them. And I'm not saying that you have to follow a blueprint or anything like that, but do you have something in your head as to, have you even considered what is a happy relationship to you? Like, what are your relational values? What are you looking to get out of a relationship? Practically, emotionally, spiritually, interpersonally, relationally, sexually. And what do you bring to the table, right? If you know what you bring to the table, then you feel worthy of asking for what it is you want, rather than afraid that, oh, if I ask, it's going to scare them off. Or if I ask, I'm going to be needy. Listen, all human beings are needy. Some of us are more honest about it. So I say, go ahead and talk about what you want rather than worrying about what they want.
I love that, because I believe it so much. Honestly, because with my husband that I met now, when we met on Match, after the first or second date, I told him, I said, if you're just looking for something casual, you're with the wrong woman. I said, I'm actually looking for a relationship that will progress and that I'll get married to. I said, so let's just get that clear now. And I also told him, I said, and I'm not moving in with you until we get married. He's like, oh, wow, you're a rules lady. I'm like, it's not about rules, but I just, at this point of my life, I know what I want. And he said, oh, so even after we get engaged, we're not living together? I said, no. I said, until we walk down the aisle. So, but those are my values. It doesn't mean that those are your values or other people, but women don't speak up. That's the thing. They do not speak up. So again, I want to ask practical questions for my community and for yours. So then what should women who are looking for a long-term commitment and marriage look for? Because there are many in my community who want a high-quality man, but they're not doing things in the right order and dating wisely. So how should they approach it? So tell me today, if somebody meets a man on Match.com, they start to chat with each other, then they meet in person, they meet in one of each other's homes, and they have sex, how should they progress? What is what is the advice you have for women, right? You get what I mean? From the time they start dating.
Yeah, I want to backtrack to what you said about how you knew two of your very important values. You're looking for something long-term, and you're not going to live together until you're married. That doesn't mean that applies across the board, right? My values would be different. But what's most important is you knew your own values. You took the time to figure out what really mattered to you, right? And there are other things you're probably a lot more flexible on, right? And so I think that's a really important place to start. People will complain that they're not getting what they want, but when I ask them what they want, they can't even tell me. So before you even go out, can you jot it down? Can you make a voice note? Like, here are the top 4 things or 5 things that matter to me in a relationship. Here's what I want from a partner. Here's what I want to give to a partner. And not just practical things like, I want them to have a certain type of job, but how do you want to feel in a relationship, right? Like, what are you looking to feel? I mean, we all want to feel secure. We all want to feel loved. We all want to feel safe, but is your career very important to you, where you need someone who's going to really make space for your career? Do you have kids you're bringing into the equation? Do you want kids, right? Do you want kids in the next 5 years? Because some people do. And there are reasons for that timeline. It's not just some arbitrary number. So number one, start with that. Now, if you've met and you've had sex and you're wondering where the relationship is going, I say, you know, a couple things to look at. First of all, how do you feel about yourself in the presence of this person? Because when we go on a date, we do all this analysis. We look at, you know, the way they look. How tall are they? How do they speak? You know, do they make me laugh? Do they, you know, all of these things are important. But when we get analytical, we move into the cognitive and away from the emotional. And I really think, how do you feel about yourself? Like, do you feel at ease? Do you feel, even in the smallest way, do you feel supported? Because if you don't feel supported about little tiny things, about what you order at a restaurant, or, you know, how you're each communicating with a server, if you're feeling uncomfortable there, when we get to the bigger issues, you might run into, you know, more of an impasse. I'm not saying wipe your hands clean of someone because you have different communication styles, but I think really tune into the feeling. So first, know your values. Yeah. Number two, tune into how you feel about yourself. And then number three, I really think that compatibility is so much about not being the same, but being willing to put in a similar amount of effort to make the relationship work. So one of you can be like wild and really outgoing and like a lot of risk, and the other can be more of a homebody who's a little bit more careful. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that you're miles apart if you're both willing to put in a similar amount of effort to find middle ground. Does that mean you have to do it the same way? Absolutely not. Some of us are more talkers. Some of us are more acts of service. Some of us want to go to a therapist. Some of us want to make lists for ourselves. Some of us want to have relationship check-ins. There are hundreds and hundreds of ways or more to invest in the relationship. But if you are more invested in this relationship than your partner early on, it's important to first speak up about it. And then if nothing changes, it might not be a fit for you, because you want to spend your whole life carrying the burden of making this relationship work. And this applies in all different realms. This applies, you know, when it comes to family. This applies when it comes to unpaid labor in the household. This applies when it comes to sex, right? I see people coming to me and, you know, they're upset about their sex life and it's not going well, and they're trying to spice it up or they're trying to revive it, but their partner's not doing anything. Well, that becomes a real struggle. That's when I think we hit an impasse, not when you're different, not because you disagree, but because you're not willing to share the effort.
Whoa, yes. 3 words, 3 phrases you made that I wrote down, and I'm going to keep on posting them and, you know, as your quotes. Jot down what you want in a relationship. It's so simple, but yet people overcomplicate it, you know? How does the man make you feel? How does the man make you feel? Listen to your gut. Listen to your feelings. Is he putting in similar effort as you are? Those 3 phrases, I wrote them down, and those are life-changing phrases. Honestly, we might as well end this live now. No, honestly, Dr. Jess, because you and I know that those
it really is
life-changing.
And it's so easy to say them, but how do we feel worthy of them, right? Like if we were raised to believe that our value or our worth is tied to getting a right type of partner, if we were raised to believe that our value is to complement someone else but not worry about them complementing our needs, so we have to also work through early messages related to, you know, childhood and gender and race and all of these different and appearance and weight, all of these things. And then we have to decide to retool some of those messages so we can let go of some of the expectations and shame, right? It's easy for me to say it. Of course, it's not super easy to implement, but I think we can all start right now. Imagine just writing down those 5 areas. What do you want emotionally? What do you want practically? What do you want relationally? What do you want spiritually, if that applies to you? And what do you want sexually? Like, do you want exclusivity? Don't assume that there's anything exclusive or that monogamy is the default, because it's not. People have a world of options. You can be totally monogamous. Some people are open to ethical non-monogamy, and we see similar relationship outcomes between those different arrangements. But you have to talk about what that means to you, because even monogamy means different things to different people. The data confirms that my definition of monogamy is different than yours, is different than someone else's. So we have to talk in detail about what that means.
Yes, yes. Another thing I do want to bring up is, like, I have a value that I don't think, again, it's not a common value. I don't think that men and
Oh.
women can be close friends without some romantic. That's a topic for another day, but this is my belief, because maybe it's just me, but every time I've thought that I could have a male friend, it has turned in him wanting something more with me. I just have not been able to do it, even if it's like a work relationship, and it turns into that. So I just don't believe that men and women can truly just be close friends without one or both of them developing some kind of romantic ideas. So when I met my husband again, I told him that. I said, I don't believe that. And if you do have a lot of female friends, that's going to be a problem. Because I took time out to write lists and to journal about everything that I needed without being controlling. Again, don't be controlling, but politely and respectfully let your partner know what it is. You don't have to say it all on the same day like you're this scripted person, but you can say it out of like just light banter or just light talking, and with humor, right? I told him that, and we had a conversation back and forth, because he was not totally on that same page. He's like, oh, really? I have a lot of female friends. And then I'm like, that's fine, but how would you feel if I had a lot of male friends that I was just chatting with? And then he was quiet. And then he was like, I'm not sure though, but what kind of male friends? I'm like, there you go. You are not comfortable with it. And we were fine with that. We resolved it. And it's not like he has a ton of female friends. But that's an example, right? Isn't it? One of those things where that you may not be cool with it. You have to speak up. You have to speak up, women. What do you think about male and female friends?
So I'm definitely on the other side. I actually see my husband chiming in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Verity Brandon. So
he is.
I'm queer, so I'm attracted to all sorts of people. So it doesn't make a difference to me whether they're men or women. If I believed that friendships were also going to be rooted in sexual attraction, I'd be in big trouble, because I wouldn't be able to I wouldn't be able to have any friends. But what I like that you're bringing up here is that you're having open conversations. And I think a conversation like that can lead to something more intimate and vulnerable. So let's say I am uncomfortable with my partner, with my husband, having female friends. What I like about the openness of talking about that is that I can dig a little deeper and say, okay, so why do I feel that way? Do I feel threatened? Is it a bit of jealousy? Is it for you, it's your experience, right? And so of course your experience is super valuable. It is your expertise. And what I hope is that people will start talking about the deeper emotions that underlie their values and beliefs, and remain open to, being flexible over the years, right? And that we'll start being honest about how vulnerable we feel in relationships. Like, what are our fears? Because I am definitely used to my husband having kind of friends of all genders. He's friends with some of my friends. But if there was an interaction or a vibe I picked up on, or something that made me feel uncomfortable, I want to be able to talk about that. And that's what I think is so important, regardless of gender. I think because I'm where, the space I come from, gender is sort of irrelevant to me. But regardless of gender, you can have friendships that feel threatening to the relationship. So the key here is being able to talk about it, not accusing, right? I don't say clearly something's going on, but I could say, you know what, this interaction, I felt left out, or I felt there was a line that was crossed that doesn't align with my values. And so it's just all about having these conversations. And the lesson that I've learned, so I've been with Brandon, my partner here, coming up on 20 years. Are we coming up on 20 years? Yeah, in a couple of weeks. We met when we were young. What I've really learned is that, no conversation is over. There's never a one-time conversation. It's always this is where I began. And if I look back 10 years, some of my core beliefs are totally irrelevant now, right? So we can see it shift over time. And that's what makes a relationship exciting. I wouldn't want to be in the same relationship I was in with the same person with the same values as 20 years ago when I met Brandon. I loved him. I liked him. But I like him as the person he is now more than ever. And I feel like, I tell you, I feel so loved. I feel so supported. I feel so honored. I feel so respected and exalted in this relationship.
I can tell you are glowing. you are glowing. Yes, so that's important. No assumptions. You have to discuss, right?
We just
how long have you been married?
Celebrated 50 years a few weeks ago. Yes. We have no kids. No.
Wow.
We have,
Do you have kids?
My 70-year-old father is in the home.
Okay.
No, 78. He's 78. Yeah, so we have me, my husband, me, and my 78-year-old father. That's the little unit.
Yes. So somebody's saying here, my ex didn't like that. My ex didn't like that I had male brother friends and didn't mention it to me, but to my friend in front of me. And I was so embarrassed because me and my friend were so shocked. You see? So that's what we say. You have to speak up. You have to let people know. You know, it's not like I would tell my husband, you can't have any female friends, but it would be that, you know, if it's not a secret friendship, then it's fine, right? Yeah, you know, that for me, that's the difference. If you're keeping a secret friendship, that's a problem. But if it's just, oh, we're all friends together and we're all going out together, and oh, look, Jane just sent me a text, her dog just did this and that, that's fine, right? But when it becomes a secret, then that's a problem. If you guys have questions, start asking them. Dr. Jess is not going to stay on much longer. How many more minutes do you have, Dr. Jess?
I can be a few minutes late.
Okay. Okay, because I want to be respectful of your time. Now let's go from dating to marriage. Now, so women, you got the gist with dating. You have to speak up. You can't make assumptions, right? Now let's go to marriage. I have many married friends, of course. Some of them have, you know, good sex in their marriage. Some don't. What can we do to spice up our marriages? Because, of course, if you've been married to somebody for more than 5 years, it could get boring. So give us a few tips on how to spice it up.
I think we need to create more mystery and more risk in our relationships. We can't get so comfortable that everything becomes predictable, because chemically, there's no adrenaline, no epinephrine, no dopamine, no fluctuations in serotonin. And we need some of those things that sound a little unstable, but feel really exciting. So I would say first and foremost, we need to get to know our own bodies so that we know what we like. So I have here, I don't have my toys with me because I'm on set, but I do have my little clitoris, my little clitoris here. And most people have never even seen what a clitoris looks like, right? Most people think that the clitoris is just that little tiny button on the outside, when in fact the clitoris has these inner legs, these inner bulbs, and these sit under your lips and labia. So oftentimes when we lose interest in sex, it's because we're not getting the sex we want. It's a lot of penetration instead of the rubbing of the entire clitoral body through the lips. Uh-oh, we're having some audio issues here. Luckily, I have a visual. I'm getting a couple of messages.
I can hear you, though.
Dance a lot together with your body, massage, get rid of back pain. Yes, think about using sex toys in my...
Oh, I can hear you.
Oh.
I can hear you.
Maybe I need to act it out.
Oh, I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you just fine. Guys, is it both of us that you can't hear, or just Dr. Jess? Because I can hear her fine. I can hear you just fine. Oh, they said it's your mic. But yeah, but I can hear you. Oh.
This mic. It's just me. Okay, let me come out and come right back in.
Okay.